Hello, welcome to 15minuteguitar.com. In this lesson we're going to look at Ed Sheeran's track Perfect. In this song we need to use 5 different chords. We need a G, E minor 7, C add 9, D sus4 and a D. I'm going to walk you through those chords, but I must say before we start you need a capo on fret number 1. The first chord we're going to look at today is a G, and we're going to do an Ed Sheeran style G where he just uses his second finger on the 3rd fret after the capo on the low E string, your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Okay, that's our G chord for today. Sounds like this. Okay, now what he does is the first chord is the G, and he arpeggiates the chord. So if you don't know what that means, it just means that he's breaking down the chord, so he's picking out the individual notes. So I'll start on the low E string, and I'm going to do the E string, the G string, the B string, and the E string. Have a watch. As I'm arpeggiating the chord, I'm going E, G, B, E, B, G. That's the order of the strings I'm picking, okay? And he does that twice. All right, so we've got 2 cycles of that, sounds like this. Now our next chord up is an E minor 7. Really easy chord to do. All we need to do is just remove our 2nd finger. By removing our 2nd finger now, we're going to hit the low E string open, and we're going to do the same picking pattern as what we did before. So we're going to go. Again, E, G, B, E, G, B, E, B, G. Same as we did before, the strings that we're hitting. Put the 2 together, we'll have this. Okay, next chord coming up is the C add 9. Really simple movement now. You move your 2nd finger that's down, you were off on the E minor 7. Now all we need to do is put your 2nd finger down on the 3rd fret now of the A string, and we pick exactly the same picking pattern again. I'm not going to say it again because I've said it 3 times now, but we hit that same picking pattern again. We start from the A string and we get this. Again, 2 cycles on that one. Next chord up is a D sus4. Now the best way to approach this is if you know a D chord, you may have learned a bit of guitar before, and a D chord is a common chord that you'll come across. Providing you know a D chord, if you start from a D chord, which is 2nd fret on the high E string, 3rd fret with your 3rd finger on the B string, fret 3, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, fret 2, okay? And providing you know a D chord, all we need to do is pop our little finger in front of the 2nd finger on the high E string. If you want to, you can take the 2nd finger off. It won't have any effect if you leave it on, okay? And what I'm going to suggest you do is leave it on, because we're going to go from the D sus4 to the D, so we're going to save you some time, okay? Now this goes. Okay, same as before, so we're going to go, strings-wise, we're going to go D, G, B, E, B, G, and then we're going to go to the D chord. We're going to take our little finger off from the D sus4 to the D, so it sounds like this all together. Okay, that part is your intro and your verse. Okay, on to our next section. This is the pre-chorus of the song. There's a first repeat and a second repeat. I'm going to play it through all the way through, and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, so same chords as before. We got a little fiddly bit at the end, which I'll explain to you, which has a hammer on a pull-off on, but I'll explain that as we get to it. So we start again on our Ed Sheeran G chord, which we said there before, and we're going to go same picking pattern as before. So 2 cycles on the G, 2 cycles on the E minor 7. Next chord. 2 cycles on the C add 9. This is where it changes now, because it goes back to the G chord again for 1 bar. So, okay, Next chord. Next chord starts with a D chord. We start with the D chord shape, so we go all the way up the D. As we hit the high E string, we want to hammer in front of our second finger on the high E string with the little finger onto fret number 3. We want to hammer and pull off with the little finger. So to achieve a hammer on, we're just going to pick down, so then we're going to hammer our finger, little finger, we're going to hammer it down onto the board, onto the fretboard, in front of the second finger to create a sound without picking. So, and then to get the pull off, we simply flick our finger down, our little finger off, and we create the pull off. So, then we run back down the B and the G strings. Okay, that's the first repeat. On the second time we do that, at the end of it, we simply go, and then we end on a D chord, and we stop on the D chord dead, we go, and rest our hands on the guitar. I'll play the whole section through again, first repeat and the second repeat, and you can stop the video and have a good practice of it. Have a go. And that's section 2. Okay, so final section of the song. This is the chorus section. We're introduced to 2 new chords now. Okay, so we're going to add on 2 new chords to the 5 that we've already done. And these 2 chords, we've got a G/B and a D over F sharp, or D/F sharp. I'm just going to quickly explain to you what those chords are. A slash chord is basically, so for instance, the G/B, you'll see that on the musical tab is a G with a slash and then a B. What that means is a G chord with a B in the bass. So we basically inverted the chord. Don't worry too much about the technical terms, but it's basically an inversion. So it's G with a B in the bass is our next new chord. That is really simple. So we want to have our our first finger on the second fret of the A string. We skip out the other strings, the D and the G, and we want to have our third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And that is our G/B chord for this song. And then the D with the F sharp, we're simply going to do that is we're going to lift our first finger up and we're going to put that on the 2nd fret of the low E string there, okay? And that's our D/F sharp for this part of the song. Okay, so I'm going to run through the chorus and I'll explain through the chords as we get through them as well. So let's start with the chorus then. So we're going to start on E-7, which we've done earlier, which is just simply 3rd fret on with your 3rd finger on the B string and your 4th finger on the 3rd fret on the high E string there, okay? And we're hitting the open string here, so we're going to go. There's just 1 bar of that, okay? So we're just going to do 1 cycle of that, the E-7. Then we go to the C-9, which I introduced you to earlier. So we're just going to put our 2nd finger now down on the 3rd fret of the A string, okay? Next chord's going to be the G, so we're going to move our 2nd finger now onto the low E string, just there, and we're going to play the G. And then we're going to go to our D chord, so we're going to go. Walk up the D chord, so, and we do that cycle 3 times round. So I'm going to play it to you 3 times round so you can hear the full cycle of the chorus. Okay, and this is the point now where our new chords come in. So we go E-7, which we've done before, and this goes. This is the E string, the low E string, the G string, and the B strings. Okay. Just 1 of those, and then we're going to go to our G/B, which is this one, and we're going to pick the A string, the G string, and the B string. So we've got. Then to our C-9, the full bar. to our G chord, and then to our D. One final section to the song now, which is just a rundown at the end of the song. This bit goes G, our D with the F sharp, which I explained to you and showed you earlier, which is just simply moving your second finger there. You're going to move your first finger back onto the second fret of the E string, and then you're going to go. Okay, don't hang on that chord for long because it sounds a little bit odd and out of place there, but it's just a passing chord. And then we go to our E minor 7. Okay, we pick the E, the G and the B. Then we're going to go to our D chord, but we don't need to put the full D on. We're just going to go. We're just going to hit the D string, the G string, and the B string. So far we've got this. Then to our C add 9. Full cycle of the C add 9, and then a strum on the D. You can stop that with your hand. And that's Ed Sheeran's Perfect. We hope you enjoyed that lesson. For your 15-minute guitar practice, try to work on the song in 3 sections as we played it up in the video. Work on learning the chords first of all, the chord shapes if you're not sure of them. Work on putting the chord shapes together, so changing between one chord to the next chord. And also arpeggiating the chord as we spoke about in the video, so working on breaking down and getting used to string skipping and picking across the strings. If you have any questions about that song, or any suggestions of songs you'd like to hear us perform, please get in contact at rich@15minuteguitar.com. If you haven't already, pop over to 15minuteguitar.com, sign up and receive great content to your inbox, completely free.